If you're a busy mom, then time management can be a little tricky. So, in this video, I'm going to be sharing 11 time management tips for moms that will help you be more productive without stressing out. So, stay tuned. Hey guys, it's Fo from MamaAndMoney.com, where I teach you how to make and manage money to become financially free. Now, the reality is that as a mom, we have so many things that we have to get done, from managing the home, taking care of kids, and if you're married, spending time with your spouse. And let's not even forget if you're working or if you have a business. There are so many things that you have to do with your waking hours. So you want to be able to make the most of that time. So I'm going to be sharing some tips that I have leveraged and other moms have leveraged to be a lot more productive and be able to manage their time more effectively. So let's hop in. First things first, if you want to be a great manager of your time as a mom, the first thing that you need to prioritize is your sleep. Sounds crazy, and some of you may be like, what sleep? When do I have time for sleep? That's why you have to prioritize it. Here's the truth. You will not be able to be effective if you are running off of no sleep. You need for your body to rest and recover so that you have your mind sharp and that you are physically able to carry out the tasks that you have to do for the day. So if anything else, you need to prioritize your sleep, whether that's making sure you get a full night's sleep at night, or if you grab a nap during the day when your kids are napping. Make sure that you prioritize sleep so that your body can reset and you can be in the optimal position in order to be able to execute on the things that you need to execute on. So number one, prioritize sleep. The second time management tip that I have for moms is to stick to a routine. If you haven't figured that out yet, that is probably the most important thing that you need to have as a mom. You need to have a routine, not just for yourself, but also for your kids. If they're able to follow a routine, it makes things a lot easier. They're able to fall into that routine. They know what needs to be done. And a lot of times they can start doing things on their own without you having to assist them. So this has been particularly helpful for me as a mom with a toddler and an infant. Having a routine that my toddler is aware of so that she knows what has to happen next. And in most cases, she's able to handle some things on her own. So have a routine and make sure you stick to it so that you can be a better manager of your time. The third tip is to delegate where you can. I've always said this and I stick by this. There is no such thing as a superwoman. When it comes to managing all the things that you have to do as a mom, it is so important that you delegate where you can. Whether that means asking your spouse to help or having your children do certain tasks or even paying for help. I think we have to get out of the mindset that we have to do everything on our own. Sometimes we need to ask for help, and more importantly, sometimes we actually have to pay for help. So that's something that you may want to put in your budget, is to be able to pay for help to delegate tasks where you need help. A lot of times this may be in the form of having someone come clean your home. It may be having groceries delivered to your home. It may be taking away those home tasks that take up a lot of time but still need to be done. Delegate where you can so that you are not burning out and overworking yourself. So that is my third tip. The fourth tip is to know when to multitask. Now, the reality is our brain can really only focus on one thing at a time, but there are some things that you can do simultaneously to make the most out of your time. So here's an example of what I mean. So if your kid is taking a bath, you're doing bath time, and they're old enough to kind of wash themselves, you can use that time to maybe wipe down the counters in the bathroom. So that's multitasking, getting your child washed while also cleaning up the bathroom. Or you may be washing dishes and at the same time you can be listening to a podcast or some educational personal development thing. So those are examples of knowing when you can multitask so that you can get multiple things done at one time to maximize your time. Now, of course, you want to be smart about when you do these. You don't want to put yourself at risk or your children at risk, but figure out when it's appropriate to multitask and actually multitask. The fifth tip is to plan ahead. Now, we all know with kids, plans often change, but you want to have a plan that you can work towards, even if you have to pivot here and there. So have a plan. My recommendation is to actually have a physical planner that you write everything down with. Now, I know a lot of times we like to use our cell phones, but a physical planner, for me at least, is a great option because I can write it down. If I need to change something, then of course I can scratch it out, but I can visually see without having to always be on my phone what my day and what my week is going to look like. I'll leave some recommendations of my favorite planners in the description of this video for you to check out. The sixth tip is to actually use some kind of project planner. So obviously there are a lot of things that may be going on in your home, maybe even at work or in your business. So you need something to help you manage that. Now, I personally use several tools within my business that also I leverage for life, but you can definitely grab some free project management tools to help you figure out what needs to be done when and manage the different subtasks of the bigger items and goals that you may have that you're working on. So for example, you can use an app like Asana or Trello to keep track of different things that are happening in your life or in your business or even in your job. You can also leverage things like spreadsheets. I personally like to use a budget spreadsheet to help manage our finances. And I also have a budget spreadsheet that's called a home binder that helps us manage when cars have been serviced, work that may have been done to the house, all those essentials that you need to keep track of. So definitely would recommend you using some kind of project management software to help you manage the different tasks that you're working on. The seventh tip is to automate. Automate everything that you can automate. This includes automating your finances so that you don't have to think about it. So things like transferring money to savings or even automatically paying bills so that you don't have to worry about. Another thing that you can automate is canceling subscriptions that you aren't using. So automate as much as you can. Another thing that you can automate is actually like cleaning the house. So investing in something like an iRobot or a robotic vacuum that can automatically clean the house or vacuum, at least vacuum the floors for you so that you don't have to think about that as well. So think about things that you can automate within your home and in your finances so that it takes away some of the tasks that you have to worry about accomplishing. So another technique that you can leverage is Pomodoro's technique, or I like to call it power hour. It doesn't have to be an hour, but this is just a dedicated amount of time that you have to do specific tasks. So for instance, for me, I take an hour within the afternoon, and that is my time to clean a specific area in the house. This way I don't get overwhelmed with trying to clean everything at one time, but also I have a dedicated amount of time that I'm able to knock out that particular task. So you can leverage this technique or this method to get more done and to maximize a small amount of time. This way you just focus on that one thing, get it done, and you're not overwhelmed with all the other tasks that need to be done. So whether that's cleaning or whether that's doing some work, whatever it is, choose a specific time block that you can leverage to focus on one task and get it done. The ninth tip is to say no. Don't overcommit yourself. I know one mom probably wants you to go on a play date. You have soccer practice. You have this party that people want to invite you. Say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. You have to understand your boundaries and not overwhelm yourself. So understand the power of saying no and actually use it, and remember that no is actually a full sentence. The next tip is to actually front load your week. I know as we get closer and closer to the weekend, a lot of us like to just do less and less, relax, and just get into the mode where we get to kick back and chill on the weekends. So if that's the case for you, front load most of your work at the beginning of the week. So Monday through Wednesday perhaps is when you do the bulk of the work that needs to be done, where you buckle down, you focus, you do all the grunt work so that maybe Thursday through Sunday you can relax and do a lot less over the weekend. And that's also important if you like to travel over the weekend. You don't want to have so much stuff during those days that you may have to reschedule or have to be worried about as you prepare to travel. So front load your week with the massive amount of stuff that you have to do, with the major big tasks. Get those done so that you can have the rest of the week to relax. Last but not least, I know that you know this as a mom, but I'm going to share it as well. Always have a backup plan. As I have mentioned before, having kids, your plans will always change. You have to be able and willing to pivot and be flexible. So always have a backup plan, whether that means having extra clothes for your kids that you carry around with you, or having an alternative activity when one falls through. But always have a backup plan so that you aren't caught in a crazy predicament. So have a backup plan that will help you be able to manage your time so you're not scrambling to figure out what to do next. So those are 11 time management tips for moms that I hope that you find useful. If you did, leave a comment below and give this video a thumbs up. And as always, if you want more mama and money tips, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I'll talk to you in the next video.